What is Gucci, my Nucci's? I'm Darwin, and this is the Half Core Podcast. I got with me Jay Paulo. What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Good to have you on the podcast. You already know we got AV behind the cameras, and this is episode 6.
Oh, snaps.
Episode 6. So you get to be a part of episode 6, man. Before we start the podcast, I just want to give everybody that's been listening or watching our podcast big shout out to you guys. It's been amazing, the feedback we have been getting. So I'm pretty excited about that. More episodes to come, so stay on the lookout for that. But let's get it started, brother. So you are one of our graphic designers. You've done a couple of logos for me and Aaron, and it's been good-ass conversation. So I was like, you know what? Let me get a friend here in the podcast, man. Let's just chop it up a little bit, man. So you kind of want to tell us about yourself, man?
Sure. I guess the long story short, background, I was actually conceived on the islands of the Azores where my mom is from. And then before she could give birth to me, they moved to Pordenone, Italy. And that's where I was born.
So you're from Italy right now?
Well, technically, born in there because my biological father was military. He met my mom on the island. She's Portuguese. My biological father is actually, I always tell a story, he's mulatto. He's half African-American. His mother's French. So
you have one hell of a mix.
Yeah, so he kind of repeated what his father did. His father went to Europe, got a wife, and then he went over and got a Portuguese wife.
So when I ask you, like, what race are you, what would you tell me?
I mean, identify in America, I say black. Because my mom, when I was a little kid over here, like fast forwarding, because like after Italy, my parents split, they divorced, they were young. And then my mom and I went back to the Azores. And then my father went to Florida. And then at one point he missed me or missed her or whatever, got kids. So he invited us to come back or to come to Florida. And they divorced, ended up divorcing there. And then after Florida, my mom remarried, and then I went to Japan, and then to England, and then to Oklahoma.
What was the reason behind that?
He was military.
So you was in the military?
Yeah, he was both military. My biological father and my stepfather, who I call dad, he raised me. But then he is a black man from Tennessee. So when I grew up from like 6 to adulthood, I had my biological father's dynamic. It was a black father with a white mother. So I grew up thinking as a mixed kid.
Damn, I'm confused right now.
But I got to be in America. I'm black with white privilege.
I'm just trying to process everything. Like, so it was one hell of a mix.
Or I'm white with a slave name. Right, because it depends on who I. Because a black person might go, "You're not black. You don't know what it's like to be black, right? Because you're not black." And I get that's the privilege comes in because I'm gonna be treated different than even you. We're gonna be profiled. You're gonna have to be quick to be like, my name is Darwin. You're gonna have to really quick to go and pull out the ID and roll or start play that Spanish card real quick.
Yeah.
If you're trying to like, hopefully he's only racist to one. You play that. So I grew up being like I said white, but I'm identify as black because of the way I look. But on the flip side, because I was saying the reason I say that because I'm white with a slave name, because that's for black people who go, oh, you know what it's like to actually be black. And I respect that. I always respect that. But the flip side of that is like, you're never going to know what it's like to whether you're not going to recognize my blackness. I'm not that chick from fucking Dozell, whatever her name, Rachel Dozell, whatever her name. I'm not that, because I actually am black. But I was like, you're never going to be in a room full of white people who don't know you're black at all and talk to you about how they openly feel about black people. So you're not going to know that side. So yeah, growing up.
So what you're saying is basically you feel like you were both.
It's kind of like Drake. I always said like, why this fucking Canadian is saying niggas in his songs. But his dad is black, so it's like
you have a Pan-African type mentality, or you're still black. Like you at least look. I mean, have very Afro.
I can get away with it. Yeah,
you have Afro, features.
And then to be honest, a lot of people don't know that, but yeah, part being Puerto Rican is Indian, African, and then Spain. That's the three mixes right there.
That's
that
what
makes
a Brazilian
Puerto Rican.
Is. It's Portuguese, African, and the Indian.
So in a way,
it's the same shit.
It's kind of connected, you know?
I tell people I'm basically what a Brazilian would be if you took out the native and mixed it with French. Because a lot of people think I'm Brazilian anyway. They're like, "Are you Brazilian?" I'm like, "No, but close." You know, technically, but you know.
All right, so aside from the race thing, what do you do for a living? What do you do? What do you?
Graphic designer. Like I just like living all these places, growing up, doing all that stuff. It led to me to do graphic design because.
How did it end up going from all that crazy fucking madness to
stationed here?
design?
I got stationed here. Like I went to the military for a little bit. Thankfully, I was dumb and ended up getting kicked out. I got generally discharged like right before I was supposed to graduate. Like, and then we ended up going to war and shit. So I kind of avoided all that. Thankfully, you know, look back on it, it's like, yeah, me being a dumbass paid off. You know, so I didn't have, you know, go. But I got to learn a lot of things, you know, doing that. But when I got back, I needed to get a job, obviously. So I had a friend who was working at a modeling agency at the time, and this is like. I'm just about to show my age. This was like 20 years ago. So at that time, the internet was just starting to
getting his wings.
It was, man. Like internet had been around for a long time, but the internet we know today was just starting to like
get his little
go.
wings.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? So I got in right at the right time. So to show you how it was, I see you have these cameras. We used a 1.44 floppy disk was the film, and you could do 10 high resolution pictures, and they were going to be 72 DPI, 1024, whatever. Like,
shit.
Yeah, like it was primitive, but the thing now it's primitive. But the reason why it was so efficient then is because your computer screen only needs 72 DPI. I don't really need 300 DPI. We weren't printing the shit. We were just putting it online.
Right.
So starting out there, I was editing photos. That was my job. So I had to learn how to, you know, touch up and do that. And then from doing that, photographer, you know, going in and out, I started doing photography from there. So that's answers your question.
So you got a little bit of photography skills on you and shit.
Doing that, yeah. So I do photography.
Okay.
I do graphic design.
What kind of photography was that? Was like just going to businesses or some shit?
No. It was shooting models. Like it was shooting models, and then you know, or helping them with their clothes too as well. So then I started studying fashion. You know what I mean?
So with that, how did you get like? When you just learned taking pictures on your own, or how did that?
Man, just straight looked at magazines, bro. Just open a magazine, and then you just come in and you just. It's just with school. It's just schoolwork. It's just cheating. Like you look at someone else's work.
You save you some money if you instead of going to school. Like,
if you could monkey see
school,
monkey see, monkey do. So basically, I'm like, hey, could pose like this. And then
you weren't afraid to just jump in and fucking.
Yeah, take the picture and then you show it to them because you could see it right then and there because they had at least had the screen. You know, it was still digital, so they would see it and they'd be like, oh, that's dope. So you do enough of those where you hear enough that's dope. You know, you figure it out. Of course, they're going to say it's dope because it's them. People always like to see them. But there are people, you hear enough times that you would hear people go, I don't normally like myself in pictures. And those are the ones that you really like, you felt like it did something.
Because you made them feel comfortable enough for them
right, that they could like themselves.
Boost a little bit of their confidence in a way.
Yeah, they didn't even like themselves. That tells you that, like, like, I mean, I would have said before the podcast started, I was like, I don't like the sound of my own voice, but I'm just going to deal with this. Like this, You
don't like it?
No, I like to talk, clearly. I mean, I love to talk. I'm loquacious and verbose. I'm, and redundant. But, yeah, I don't. But people tell me they like the sound of my voice, so that's cool. Like, I guess, I've heard people say, like,
Yeah, I'd say, it's pretty good.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I mean, it's weird. Like, you're your own worst critic, and that's okay. Like, as long as you just don't beat yourself up over it.
Yeah, it doesn't affect you like crazy.
Yeah, I'm not going.
You're gonna be depressed and shit.
Yeah.
So, you did the photography, and did that led you into like graphic designing and shit?
Yeah, because at one point in working in the modeling agency, they got a hold of some software. It's not making it anymore. It was called Swish, and then they came out with Swish Max. And what it was is, to be lack of a better term, it was a poor man's Adobe Flash, or Flash at the time. Macromedia. Actually, before Adobe bought it, was Macromedia. It was Macromedia Flash, and then I had this program called Swish. And then you could basically make Flash animated sites on this program. And I just got good enough doing that that I was starting to get work. And matter of fact, the shout out to Meant to Be, Trey and Deli, and also Iso and Ahmad, and KJ, because he was the manager at the time. They were my first paid like website that I did. It was a flash site for them, and so you can say it was meant to be, because to do that line of work. Because from there, then I started doing graphics for artists. But really, what got me, lack of a better term, the streets. This like sounds corny, just saying it, but I started doing work for Presidential Trap House, and after I started doing work for Presidential Trap House,
It just
that was it.
there.
It was it. It was. I didn't have to
getting businesses and
yeah,
shit.
because and how I ended up getting Presidential Trap House is at one point I did a website for Camp Low. Because DJ Diverse, shout out to Diverse, he met Camp Low here, and they were actually performing on my birthday, and I already had plans that day, and it wasn't well promoted because I didn't even know they were here. And he hits me up, was like, "Hey, you want to go to this concert at Camp Low?" I was like, "Nah, bro, I got plans." Anyway, he goes, meets them. They had a hit in the '90s. People can look them up if you don't know who Camp Low, Lucchini, and so he gets their number from gets Suede's number. And then he links up Suede with me. And I'm just up and coming at the time, and I'm good enough. Well, I do this website. Long story short, I do the website for Camp Low for free. And people talk about
website.
I did this website back in the day for free for Camp Low. It was more like a childhood, working with it, because they blew up back in the day. Like they were legitimate. So that's kind of what it was. And it was just at the time, since it was for free, I got to freely design it, if that makes sense. There was no pressure. You're not paying me. You're not. Yeah. So I had creative control at the time. They had trusted me to do it. And actually designed for iTunes. I designed their greatest hits, Volume 1 and Volume 2 that they used on iTunes too. But I did their website, and it was well enough that OK Player put it on their website. If you're familiar with that website, it's a pretty popular website, but for music. And by it being on that website, a dude in England saw it, and this dude messages me, and he's like, "Hey, how much would you charge to do a website for Melly Mel?" And it's Grandmaster Melly Mel at the time. That's, if you don't know hip hop history, that's from, he's the one that don't push me because I'm close to the.
That one's recording, right? I just remembered that. Sorry to interrupt.
That's cool. I think I can hold my spot.
Man, you gotta be shitting me. All right. It is the podcast. That's what it is.
Nah, it's all good. So we had to have that end goal the whole time?
Nah, it's cool.
It's cool.
I got
It's
audio.
cool. Yeah, we got audio at least.
All right.
We'll work with it. All right.
Edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. Like, so basically, that's Melly Mel, if you've heard that song. That's from like back in the 70s. Like, and I replied back like, "Are you serious? Is this real?" And because I was young, man. And he was like, "Yeah, for real." So by doing that website, that like secured me for like hip hop heads. Like, "Oh shit, you did Melly Mel's website?" Because he never had a website. So I was like the first person to give him a website. And then I got on with a company called DigiWax. And DigiWax is a company in New York. And by having that on my deal, because through DigiWax, I was doing work that was with Puma, Zune, Adidas, Microsoft. I mean, the work that I was doing, Flash work, was going to their executives. I was a freelance designer, and they were outsourcing it to me, basically saying, "Hey, here's our data from our events. Can you compile it into a report?" And I would do it, make it to be animated, so they could just email it to the execs, and they could click on it, listen to all the radio ads, sponsors, because that's what they were doing. They were doing radio at the time.
Okay.
So
it's a quite the gig right there, man.
Yeah. So dude, I just.
So at that point, you felt like in the graphic design world, you had.
Oh yeah,
you're a rock star in that world, kind of like.
Dude, I mean, I was getting flown to New York several times to do work up there for that. I got to meet Busta Rhymes. I met who else?
Now you didn't go to school for this?
Huh?
You didn't go to school for this?
No, self-taught school of life. I mean, like, but when I was doing it, like, with forums, they're still popular. I know they are, but man, like, I was into them more. And the forums I was using was for the program I was talking about, that Swish Max. So, side note, the reason why my graphic game got good because I started doing graphics, and then I said, man, I was like, if my websites would be better if I understood Photoshop better. So that's when I started doing Photoshop more. And then by that certain point, when Apple came on the scene with their iPhone, that's what really killed Flash. Like, you can still use Flash now on your iPhone. I do this because I think my phone was over there. But like, there's an app you can get to run Flash. But the point I'm making is they killed Flash, so that like killed that thing for me because, that's where MySpace was popping then. So I was making a killing on MySpace because I was doing the headers and shit. I was doing Flash animated headers, killing. I did one for like Sierra, Jason Derulo. I did work for Mims. I was doing shit for Capitol Records.
Damn.
Like, yeah, I mean, I was young and dumb. And I mean, I thought I was getting a whole bunch of money and blowing it. I was just dumb, like, just didn't realize what I was doing. I was just having fun, bro. Like, just doing me, not really realizing what I was doing at the time. You know, made a couple of decisions based on life. You know, but I don't regret any of it. I don't regret any of it.
Did you smoke weed back then?
No, not as much. Not as much as I do now. Like, and then I think, and I never did psychedelics at that point in my life and all that stuff too. So I was a totally different person, but I was still the same. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna front, like, there was other things I was into that were coinciding with all that shit that was going on in New York. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was all into that conspiracy shit way before everybody else was into that mainstream conspiracy shit. So when that shit was going on simultaneously with the shit that I'm doing up in New York, I was like, what's going on? Is this just coincidence or, so then you realize, who gives a shit about when you get to a certain age, You're like, who gives a fuck?
That's pretty fucking tight, to be honest, man. Just, the experiences and like all the work that you were getting just off of being a freelancer, just designing people's shit.
So I had the DigiWax world. I got the celebrity, if you will. Then when I come here, I've got the most popular, one of the most popular groups at the time. Well, they're not actually technically a group, it was a label because they're all individuals. People thought they were a group, Presidential Trap House. So as they referred me to people, and I just present my resume, if you will, to them, then people are like gonna just keep referring, and it just word of mouth. And now it ends up to you guys get referred to do work, and that's the part I like the most is meeting other people that are pursuing something. You know what I mean? That they're going after something, whether it be frivolous or whether it's a passion, or if sometimes, no disrespect to anybody, sometimes it's just a hobby for some people. They don't realize it. They're just really good at their hobby, but it's like you're just not going to put yourself in a position to get to that next level because of whatever reason. I'm just talking about the people that don't pursue it. That's all. Right. Because they got kids or a job or whatever they feel. And that's okay, because it's not for everybody, man. It's really not. But as artists, it. Like, you do multiple things. Like when you cut hair and shit. Like that's immediate. That's immediate. Yeah. Like I get that almost when a person comes over and gets some shit done, and we're chopping it up and designing. But you are doing something like on.
Like pressure type shit.
You're changing the fucking what's there.
They are physically. I do it with a picture. Like I my bad. I change it up. I make the jaws. Like I make ugly people.
Like you have one shot with the hair.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, what I mean is like, it's a moment. It's a frame. It's one frame. It's one pic. Like they might take a pic and send it to me. I'm sure I can doctor them up and make them look all good. You know what I mean? But when you do it, it's at least for a couple of days. They feeling like they feeling themselves. They checking the fade. They can go talk to that girl now that they.
Real shit.
I think if you can't enjoy that, then you're not gonna be able to do it. Like that's why people don't pursue their dream, or because they don't really love it. It's just like a phase. Like they're just.
What sucks is all the cliche fortune cookie shit. Really is real, but if you just say it, you just like shut the fuck up. That's what. But it's if you choose some shit that you really love, you will never work a day
in your life,
bro. Like that's some real shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's some responsibility behind it. You have to take the right moves to be able to get to the point where you can do the shit that you love. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta sacrifice certain shit. Like
sure,
but yeah, it's
also a mind frame. It's a mindset. because you could just trick your brain and lie to yourself. What I mean by that is like, whether you could like love the money, you can love the things that get you. You may not like the job you do per se. For example, you might even like the people you work with, but you can. The key to being happy, I just say, is just be. Like that's all it is. Being happy, you just be. So in that situation, you're doing it, but you can be in here being happy. You could be thinking about something else because you're gonna be doing something.
So what you're trying to say is like
you're gonna work.
If you hate the job, you can still be happy.
Yes, you can still be happy because you hate.
But that's a big part of your time.
Right.
So how am I gonna like if I hate the job, how am I gonna fucking
quit?
find
First
time?
off, quit.
Right. But
Quit.
not everybody can be in that
quit.
position.
Right, they can't quit. Right. So that was what I'm saying. So why hate it?
Because you don't like it.
But why? But you can't quit.
Well,
Look, you see what I'm saying? I think retarded. Listen, I know I'm retarded. But listen to what I'm saying. If you know you can't quit for whatever reason, financial, family. That's what I'm saying. Some people are in dead end job, whatever. I get that.
Okay, so
but
let's say this scenario.
Hold up, let him finish.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, but you're aware of the parameters going into that job. Okay, I know I have to be here but do I have to be here forever? See, that's one positive thing you're already thinking. So when I get in here, I'm going to do the best that I can do. I'm not going to let him or her or this take my peace or my happiness. Because that's whatever you're doing. When you hate something, you hate yourself. Because you were part of it.
Right. You the one that
hate
makes
yourself.
that
Why
decision.
would you do that?
Mentality thing for sure. Like
Yeah,
you can be in a.
easier said than done.
Like I remember working at fucking Brahms, and I was actually like having a good time, fucking making some burgers and hooking people up with that shit. It was a shitty job, and I knew I didn't want to. It was a temporary, but I could have been like hating it, like, oh fuck, I hate this shit. But I made the best out of it.
That actually happened to me because when like I said, my first job was Church's Chicken. I had a blast. I lasted there for 3 years, and when I first started at that job, I was 17 or 16, I don't remember. And I lasted there for 3 years, and the first 2 years was awesome because, I mean, like you said, it's a fast food, minimum wage, but I had good people, good coworkers, and I was just making fucking chicken and you said what?
You made the best out of it.
I made the best out of it, but that last year was something that I just got tired of it because I guess I don't know if it was maturity. I was like maturing a little bit more at that time, and I was like looking to do better things. And I was like, fuck it, I don't enjoy this shit anymore. I guess they're overworking me. That's, I think, how I felt. Like they were over fucking working me, and I deserve more.
Do you know the easiest way not to get promoted?
The easiest way to not get promoted? Fucking up.
No.
What is it?
Be irreplaceable.
That's the best way to not get promoted?
You got to do just enough so they'll move you up to the next level. Because if you're killing it in a position, like just
why would they do that? Why would they move you up?
Why would I
Makes
move
sense.
you up? If I could just throw you a few more dollars extra to keep killing that,
Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
same thing in sports. It's on a different level. I mean, yeah, they go, what do you mean? You're not going to go from receiver to quarterback? No, but if they can continue to pay you on a certain contract and you'll still keep killing it and you don't want to ask for more money and you'll take a discount for the team.
What?
No, I rarely
As J. Paul would say, what?
Rarely, and that's what I'm saying. That's what Tom Brady, talk about Tom Brady and his, taking less pay, money, blah, 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 blah. If you're into sports, that kind of shit, that. But that, it's the same thing. So people just want to be recognized. They want to, get their bread. So the way you're to move up, especially in the corporate world, you do just enough. And
To go back to the actual question, to be honest, is like about the happiness shit. I think it's
just be.
So, yeah, it's a mentality
be.
thing, but I mean, some people don't.
It's
don't fuck
easy.
with it.
Just get online and go look. Just type in fucked up shit to other people, and then after 15 minutes, you're like,
A fucked up situation and still have a positive outlet. Like,
yeah. I mean, as long as you have your imagination, you have your free will in there. That's if they break that, then that's when they can manipulate you, make you do whatever.
So we, talked about your history and shit, the military part of it.
Oh, yeah, it was
the
all
graphic
over the place.
design. You also are a meme god.
Oh yeah,
you are a meme god. That shit is hilarious. Let's just kind of talk about it a little bit. Where do you get all the goddamn time to post memes all the time? What is up with that?
Actually go look for them occasionally, like like everybody, you get on the toilet or whatever, you just free time, you go scroll and look at shit, right? And I find stuff like that. But I have a number of people that will message me. They send me the memes. They send them to me. So I wake up every day and I just kind of filter through, and I'll save them and use them. Like I won't, because I know like
you probably have like everything.
But I delete them. So I'm
these OCD. 5 are going today. These other 7 that they send me are OCD.
Tomorrow. Yeah, I'm delete them. Yeah, and I delete them. And I'll delete them if I don't like them. It's not that I don't like them. I love them, but I know I'm like, damn, I can't post. I'm not that kind of. I'm not there because people be sending
some deep shit. I was gonna send you something. I was gonna send you a meme I found, and that shit was hilarious. But I think it was
no. You probably. I think anything you would send me, I could post. No, I mean I think you would be on a. But I'm talking about these people. Some people send me shit, and I'm like, I don't have enough money to a bank account to post that. I'm in Facebook jail forever.
So what is it? What is it? Is it that just people report you and you get it suspended?
Oh
shit?
yeah,
you
man.
Be suspended a
lot,
but
huh? Now Facebook's algorithm is like
they're soft and shit,
dude. It's intense. I don't think it's anybody reporting you now because I posted something not being funny. I posted something that was in response. Okay, basically, okay. I'll tell you the story. It was a white girl thinking she could say nigga. Like that's and we're part of her argument. Where she was right, I can say it. Yeah, you can. You're protected by the First Amendment, but and I was just all I did was all my comment.
You gave your opinion and you got suspended.
No. I didn't get suspended. No. I'm sorry. I'm just talking about the algorithm and then also the way it picks up shit. Sorry, I was just giving you that. My bad. So when my comment to her, because she's going on and on and on, and someone else posted about her. And then she jumped on that post and was like, tag me, bitch. She was going in on this dude. I thought it was funny. So I was like, oh, shit, this is a little lively. So I just commented to her. I posted a picture of 2 dudes, 2 black gentlemen who were hung in the South at the time. There's a bunch of white people and one dude pointed out that's a famous picture. And I posted that. And I made a comment just basically telling her, like, yeah, you can, in capital letters, can say whatever you want. That's a given. But reason why some black people have an issue with it is because they were passed on stories that the last words that this person heard was like that's all I put. No more. Soon I posted that. Fucking boom! Notification from Facebook. We covered this photo up.
Oh, they're being
There's something in the thing of Facebook that can just pick up the photo automatically. There's not.
It's like the copyright shit. Like on YouTube, I'm like trying to figure that shit out. Like. You know how when you post a video that has a Drake song on it, you get copyright. Okay, it's because this belongs to Drake or their fucking label or whatever, right? But the video's on private. Nobody can see it. And it gets claimed immediately. So there's something.
Yeah, they have a thing that picks up the song.
Yeah.
Just like a Shazam. It probably has like some kind of Shazam.
That's what probably it is. Because I'm like, goddamn. Like, I thought it was like people just like, okay, let me get this shit. But it's actual, AI behind it doing all that shit. But.
The reason we talk about it, because I noticed for a while I was seeing videos online like of shit that normally would be pulled, but what they were doing is they would put the video in a smaller video on the screen and have like stuff like just kind of playing in the background behind it so it wouldn't get pulled or something.
Yeah.
Is that why they're doing that?
Yes, it's because of that. Yeah. It's
okay.
Pretty much because of that.
And so now, I don't know if you've seen this either. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, but another new thing that I don't know why it's happening to people if they're doing it on purpose is the video will be like playing and it'll just zoom in on real quick and then pop back out and then and it'll zoom back in and I'm like, why the fuck?
It's just kind of like to keep them like engaged. Like, I guess it's just like it'll start off normal and then zoom in when they're talking about a certain topic because it's not going to zoom in. It zooms in like, I found out that Drake
wouldn't be there. I'm sorry. Like I'm watching like a normal, like this, a podcast or like a show, like it would be like Speak for Yourself. It comes on Fox. I watch that show, right? Which normally if you watched it, it'd be like, there's cuts and stuff, right? But this would be like right now, let's say that you had the normal shot, this wide shot here. And then all of a sudden, like 3 seconds later, it's just like pixelated, like right up on my face for no reason, like way up here, like right up in here. And then it cuts back. Yeah. So Anyway, I don't know if you might have seen that because that's my big grinds my gears type shit. Like but that's the world we live in. As I'm saying it, I'm listening to myself because I check myself as I say things, and that's just my first world a problem. Like I'm bitching about free shit that's illegal because they're not supposed.
That's the kind of generation we are, man. Facebook is definitely.
You want some Starbucks there, bud?
Oh man! Oh, you're gonna call me a boomer?
Yeah. So Facebook is definitely not for you. You have to go to Twitter because nowadays, like YouTube.
No, I got kicked off Twitter.
God damn.
Because I didn't last long on Twitter at all.
YouTube, you could say like, this is fucking awesome, like. And that was cool. Now you can't say that shit.
So why you're getting back because you're saying just some controversial ass shit?
Yeah, I said I was being. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll just be totally honest. I was being an asshole on Twitter that day because this dude, and I don't know if he was. I was calling him that not for his sexual orientation. I was calling him a faggot. And I called them that a couple times, and that was it. They were like, "Dude, you're done. You can't get your
okay." So all these platforms now are sensitive, and
yeah, you can't call them that.
Used to be I
could have been like, I was calling them a cigarette, like in England, it's faggot is a cigarette, a fag. Huh?
And then they're trying to reduce the negativity. I do see where that's coming from.
But that was what thrives. We love negativity because everybody's like bitching about like I post something positive on Facebook.
If you say the word nigga,
but if I post my titties, yes, because that's what people like. They like titties and ass. Of course they're gonna like that. They don't give a fuck about bitch. Put it on a wall behind you. Take that fucking quote that you want to fucking say. Paint that bitch up. Put it on a wall and.
Yeah.
And then people will pay attention to that shit.
Yeah. So you can't say bad words on like comments because I think Aaron, you left a comment on the half podcast.
Said a whole bunch of bad
what was
words
that all about?
Because that's what.
You haven't beat me out.
That's just funny on J-Po. He's like people didn't know about depression back in the day. They were just like, stop being a pussy.
Yeah, basically.
You can't see it. People can't see it because automatically it blocks it. So
this podcast is not going anywhere.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't seem to know this because they'll comment and they'll say, "Oh, I love your fucking work."
But Joe Rogan, they cuss on Joe Rogan. How come he gets to?
No, I'm talking about comments. We can say whatever the hell we want.
Oh, we can say whatever we want here.
Yeah.
Fuck, bitch, cunt.
So like with that, it's like a lot of people don't know, so they'll comment like, "I love your fucking work," and it doesn't show. So be aware of that.
Don't cuss in the comments.
Yeah, don't cuss. No bad words. No N word. None of that. So because if not, your comment won't be shown. Anyways, so going back to that.
That's pretty interesting.
It's not up to us.
It's not up to us. It's just automatically they're just trying to make social media and the internet a better place because there's so much negativity, so much toxic shit. They're just trying to reduce it. So
I can see that. I mean,
back to the graphic design. You did all this work, and then how'd you start working with like Robotic Wednesday and like what stage was that? That was like the
shit.
Because now you do work, but you don't really. I mean, you're not really out there fucking really trying to do it.
No, it's all been word of mouth for a long time, but I just make the connections. It's once you get in the game, man. Let's be real. Once you meet one, and they
word of mouth,
relevant,
pretty much. That's
you stay relevant. I'm staying relevant with memes now.
You are.
That's one way, and I still get work. People still hit me up on Facebook to get work. I get just the amount of work, and I have my shit on Instagram. I don't post on Instagram. I just use Instagram to display my work. And then I use Snap. I like Snap stories. I just like the way you can post on that shit.
So now that we're talking about social media and shit, so this is some interesting shit right now. So do you feel like social media is sucking the life out of you?
No, I love social media.
You say no.
It. I love it.
So it's sucking the life out of you.
No. Because I still interact with people on it.
You do. But can you stay off of it?
Oh yeah, I do it all the time.
You were online like 15 minutes ago though.
Yeah, but that's because you guys are boring.
Bro, people will tag him like somebody gets a graphic and then they're like, bro, where can I get a graphic? Because bitch ass J Paulo isn't answering. Sometimes he'll go like months MIA. Like I try to get work from him, and I was like, bro, do I owe you money or like why are you not fucking replying?
But no, the thing is like,
but see, I do that too now. So
yeah, so it's like you.
Sometimes you gotta go MIA, man.
But what it does is
it like we all go through things, and they might catch you the right time. But the thing about it is I'm always available. But like they might have an old number, I might change the number. That's my fault. But like I have.
So right now you can shut off social media for 2 months and shit.
If I wanted to, but I don't want to. Like I like it
because you need it.
Well, I do need it for my like career, but I've learned to like make it work for me. Like other people could too, but like they think now it's just social media is getting the backlash. That's just how anything is. It's just life, bro. Whenever shit comes, it's the wave. People like it, but then they gotta wait for the.
Yeah, at this point, it's
the backlash.
There ain't shit we can do. It's just a part of us, cause like, to be honest, like, well, you was how long?
Is that an Apple Watch or
yes?
Was it, see, that's Inspector Gadget shit. Like it's about to be all the time. I'm gonna be watching games like this.
It's getting there. It's getting there. But how long were you AV without social media? Cause you fucking broke your phone.
I wasn't without it because I could still log in.
But it wasn't drastically like it
No,
wasn't.
I mean I was just getting under to like confirm appointments,
Right.
shit like that.
Dude, I went years
But
without a
even like 2 days without a phone, it kind of affected my business a little bit because I wasn't getting back to people and shit.
Right. It's like the barbering shit.
Yeah,
like,
well, that's it. I mean, I need it.
No, but I'm saying as far as like, I'm not talking about the business side, because that's the reason I get on social media too, is because of the business side of it. But I'm talking about.
I think it all goes back to self-control, but definitely, since I didn't have a phone, I was reading.
There's books out here, bro. Books. I saw paperwork. I came in yesterday and I was so impressed because Aaron had the Rich Dad Poor Dad book out and he was working on some papers, and like I was like, what the hell is this?
Oh yeah.
So he took the time because he doesn't have his device with him, and he was, doing work.
I was watching some fucking movies.
Yeah, he organized his whole shit, like reorganized it. So like he did some productive shit because his favorite app is fucking Snapchat.
I like Snapchat.
This nigga
Snapchat's
goes
fun.
on it like.
Snapchat's fun. It's dope.
But the thing with Snapchat is
Shout out to all the thotties on Snapchat.
The thing with Snapchat is the culture on Snapchat is look at what I'm doing, look at what I'm doing, look at what I'm doing. And I was one of them.
I love that shit though.
Well,
that's like a documentary. That's like what I
it
want
takes
to do.
away because, like, for example, I see people that go to concerts. Like, bro, why don't you put your fucking phone down and enjoy the concert? You pay so much money to bring me with you. Like, I don't want to see that shit. That's annoying as fuck. They'll do the whole concert, the whole damn concert.
If I don't like the artist, then I'm like
still
you.
though.
But no, if
But
I
still.
like the artist, I'm like, yeah, free show, son. I don't pay shit. Perfect. I don't have to worry about these people on drugs bumping into me, doing all this shit. I don't have to worry about
That
parking.
shit is boring though, because most of the time they're
Boring
fucking
to you.
shaking.
That's
they're like
right, and then just turn it off and skip them.
Right,
Go
and that's
find
what I'm
someone
saying.
who's better. That's it.
That's what I'm saying. Like
find professional Snapchat. Follow better people. Do better.
I don't go on Snapchat that much. If you look at motherfucker, if you look at my fucking screen time, I don't fuck with Snapchat at all.
Some people like that. But they're different apps for different people. I get like that's the beauty of it. Like it's for different people but it's all the same. Like soon as Snapchat started killing it, Instagram started doing the same shit, and then Facebook.
I still think Snapchat is on top of it as far as.
Well,
like,
I mean,
stories.
Instagram is
It's
killing.
instant.
Instagram is
The thing
killing.
about
Everybody's
Snapchat
on
is that I can
Instagram.
get on right now, and then I can just see what the homie's doing and shit right now. So I can go pull up on him, or I can, you know what I'm saying? On Facebook,
It's turned into that shit.
It's
really,
dope. Look at all
it's
this
crazy.
dope shit that I don't have to be doing right now.
Like, I ignore somebody, and then
Go
I
look
post
at
a
their
snap.
Snap story.
Oh, so you like, they're like always on it. Like people are always like trying
And
to
when
find
people
out.
go, oh, you can be on Snapchat,
But you can't reply.
Yes,
Nigga, I'm
yes.
trying- I'm trying to ignore you.
Clearly, that's exactly it.
But there's what I'm saying. Like people will be like, oh, like
They're in
if
their
Aaron, for
feelings.
example, it doesn't reply to me, I'm like, let me see what this motherfucker doing. Boom.
Right.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like that's like
You can just see how important you are. It's good. Shows
that
you.
is crazy.
Now you can see how
And
important
that's
you are in this life.
and then like everybody now thinks they're a celebrity and shit.
Everybody wants to be. Well, if you look at the word, like, get into my dumb shit about words.
I am a fucking celebrity.
But yes, because you want to be celebrated. Your work is celebrated, so you're a celebrity. So that's all it is. I mean, and when we just look at celebrities, we have a different view. But if you are celebrated,
Just
you're a
because I saw
celebrity.
your story doesn't mean you're a celebrity.
No. Celebrate
It doesn't mean
Celebrate it. Like what I mean
You
by
can be a
like,
celebrity if you want to be a celebrity.
Yeah, you can say that. You can say you're in a celebrity. You can lie and believe that lie. But I'm talking about when people are really celebrating. Like you right now should be celebrated for the things that you are doing. Like I don't know if you have the angle where you can see the
Any camera,
all the
men or
cameras,
one
all of
ladies,
them.
like the
Like
main-
if you have that one where like, all the stuff you guys are doing right now with this and. You know what I mean? Like it's a good production. So you guys should be celebrated for that. So right now you're just little miniature right now. in this little vicinity, you guys are the best podcast in this little vicinity. Like, what other podcast is better than you on this block? Right?
No one in
So
Oklahoma
I'm just saying,
City.
you walk out and be like, Frank, I'm shitting on you, son, because your podcast is weak, and he's gonna have no idea what you're talking about. But you feel good about yourself. Just know that. But then you're gonna know more people. This is what, the 6th podcast.
Yeah, episode 6.
6. So yeah. So you're gonna have, next thing you know, you're gonna be like, holy shit, this is podcast 21. You'll be having some other person here blabbing, talking about their shit, and next thing you know, it's gonna be podcast 37.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
That's
Podcast fucking 100.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is that if somebody wants to be a celebrity, yeah, is that easy now to be a celebrity?
But now they're changing it. Instagram changed it for the little run. I don't know how long it's gonna last because they did it in other regions. But now when you like something, it'll say liked by like one person and others. It doesn't say the number of likes on Instagram right now.
And that's good because of the fact that people were so into the damn likes and shit that they were getting depressed. Oh, this didn't get that much likes.
But that's their fault. But it's fucking up other people's money,
Pussy,
though.
yeah,
But see what I'm saying? But just because they're just fucking can't be an adult about it. You know what I mean? It's
This is what it all turns out.
But
Like,
it's
just
fucking up
about
other
likes.
people's money who are essentially influencers, people who could benefit from getting those views or showing those views. Product like, hey man, I can reach 40,000 people a day.
It is gonna affect them.
Talking about computers, I can reach 75 people a day talking about basketball. Once and now people are like, well, I can't. So
This goes back to
one bad
likes.
apple. One bad apple spoils a fucking.
yeah,
Bunch.
the likes is everything, man. Like
bunch of fucking 8th place medals.
I'm guilty of it.
yeah,
but
no fucking A place trophy.
I'm guilty of it, but I don't get depressed over it. Like when I don't get likes on something, I'm just fucking irritated because I'm like, this is not getting likes, but this is getting likes. That's what I'm at.
I mean, that's kind of
That's-
like
That's it. That's why I get messed
that's
up.
different because that's like the quality of work we putting out there. Like sometimes,
I'm just
especially
talking
when
about
we
my memes.
started.
I'm just talking.
I'm just saying, like in general.
I already know the
like,
game. You can't
I get that.
put anything positive. We talked about it earlier. I already know my positive. I put stuff about being plant based and motivational quotes and all that shit. I do all that throughout the shit posting. That shit hardly gets any likes, and it's weird. Like, and so I've been trying to.
Me, I don't know. To me, the way I look at it is, I'd rather get a couple likes from people that are really
I look at the engagement
from positive shit than
To me,
to
it's-
get a bunch of shit
But that's
from
what-
negative shit.
Right,
You know what
no,
I'm
but
saying?
that's
I'd
how it's
rather
gonna
have
go.
5 positive motherfuckers than fucking a million.
You gotta have a shit ton of followers. You gotta have a shit ton of followers. You can't have 4,999 friends and 874 followers and think you're gonna get a whole bunch of reacts. And that's not gonna happen because those are around the numbers that I have. Like, so I know the interaction you're gonna get based on that. So you'd have to have a shit ton of people following you, like have a page, and then you would get, a lot of likes from positive shit. But right now, we all know it. If you are clicking on memes and you're known for memes and you're dealing with a lot of people in the memes, that's the algorithm that you're going to be on, and Facebook's going to put that in there. So what I started doing is early on, and now I don't have to do it as much because they won't post it. But no, I just put in the caption. I used to work on my caption game, so I even though I mimic or maybe just reword what they said, but try to put a little bit of my own spin on it. So I'd put that in the caption and then get laughs sometimes from that. So that would
The caption has to do a lot, man. 'cause
Captions,
when the World War III
everybody
thing,
sees the same meme. Sorry, everybody sees the same meme. So if you can put a little spin on it and add your own little thing.
Yes.
Like what I do now, my favorite thing to do is just find anytime it's a cat falling down some stairs or somebody tumbling, falling, anytime of those, that's my tag or go-to is drop it in your DMs in a manner such as, because it's goofy and women are going to like it. And that's another thing. Women like attention and they like it, but they don't like fucking creeps, man. Like, it's another thing, just to go off topic with that. They don't mind you being in their DMs. They don't mind it. They just don't want you being fucking a creep. Just throwing that out there because I'm on the fence. Part of me wants
So
to
would
be
you
honest,
say like one of the biggest reasons why you've been successful on social media is because you can kind of read how people think?
yeah, it's easy. At least I know how they think online. Because what they say online all the times isn't going to be what they think
in reality or something that they maybe are.
Because they can be just shit
bullshitting.
posting. Like me, I just shit post. You know what I mean? Like, and I know how to put my caption with that to put it in a way that's going to make you you know,
Mm-hmm.
question, like still be messed up, still say foul shit that we're not supposed to say, like just so I can say it. That's the reason I say it, because they tell us we can't say it. That's the only one main reason. To tell me I can't do it makes me want to do it. I'm childish. I'm not a grown up.
I think the bottom line of it is just like we're just consuming it too much. We're just consuming it too much to the point where pause.
Not gonna
Consuming social media too much to the point where like it takes
you say
away.
that on
It takes.
a podcast.
Or they're gonna be consuming it.
Well, you're getting information though, like.
But that's part of it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the
You gotta have the goods and
Because we're
bad.
gonna be honest. The way I look at it is like, am I gonna be a consumer or a creator? So I mean, I do both, but at the end of the day, I
do
want to
both.
create, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's I want to be the one that's creating the content.
You can do both. You can
Yeah,
create while
both.
you're
Yeah,
consuming.
for sure.
You can do
Because I
both.
love others. You know, that's what motivated me to do this. Because I love shit like noisy or fucking.
But consuming that, you're learning. You're getting other people's perspective. The suppose of going on Facebook or Snapchat to see what other people are doing.
Awareness.
Like, why are you so worried about that?
Awareness, I think, is the biggest thing when it comes to like not using it as a fucking addiction or whatever. Like,
Yes.
I mean, it happens though. I mean,
It
it's
is.
a
It
reality.
is. It's a thing.
Bro, so many times you follow the right people, and who are the right
well,
people?
it's not
Who's
about-
right for you, dude. So many times I got on social media, on Snapchat, and saw somebody eat some shit, bro. What is that? Where is that at? Where are you at? That's dope.
Well-
So there's it's.
Well, what I mean by that.
I totally know what you mean by. I know what you're going at, like the whole depression, mental illness, and all that other that's
well,
causing people that.
To give you an
fucked up shit.
example, it's like I was in the airport and we had 30 minutes and I was with the family. Instead of having a quality, like family quality time, when I look at the side, they're all on their phones.
Was this your family or someone else's family?
My family. And I looked and I'm like, and we're talking about different ages at this point. So
Man,
I'm like
sounds
looking
a
and I'm like,
boring ass family. There's nobody can tell jokes. That's what it sounds like. That's what I tell people. Like, dude, those phone. I don't get upset if someone if you pulled out the phone right now in the middle of me talking about my story, I would not be offended because that thing is awesome. I can't compete with that. That phone is fucking amazing. It's amazing, bro. I can be like right now, pull up my phone, be like Jordan over Elo, Bulls, Cavs, and watch that shit right now. We were talking about it earlier. Right now is the best time to be alive. It's all on how
It
you
is, in a
it's how
way.
you filter it. Sure, it's a lot of information, and what it is people have grown up for whatever reason, and maybe it's just humans, and maybe I got labeled diagnosed with autism, but it's processing information.
And
When did you get diagnosed with
in my
autism?
late 20s.
My late 20s, but so
How was that? Like all through a kid, you never went. They never.
No, I had
they sent me I had to go see a therapist at one point. They tried to give me Ritalin at one point, trying to figure me out because they didn't know back then the way my brain thought. Like it was just thought different. I still think different, obviously.
Who wouldn't?
the doctors?
The therapist, the teachers, counselors and shit. It's not that I was like a bad kid or anything, but I just couldn't focus. Basically, I had ADHD. Is really what it was. ADD. That's why they tried to give me Ritalin. And shit like that. No, Ritalin slows you down. It's supposed to be like barred out and shit, like in fourth grade barred out. Like,
Oh shit.
I was barred out when it wasn't cool. So I learned real quick.
And now it's cool.
No, yeah, I was at the wrong time. No, so I learned real quick what it was doing to me. So what I would do is go in there, take it, put it under my tongue, drink, and then when I went out, I'd spit it out. So, and I like the way it made me feel. But now, if I could go back, I'm like, no, bro, put that shit back in your mouth. You fucking
crazy.
feel amazing.
It's
Oh, history class is gonna be awesome. Learn about dinosaurs fucked up. It'll be fucking amazing.
So with the ADHD, what is that? Basically, you just
Just can't focus, bro. Like when get up, move, just can't. But really,
That's why they give you Adderall and
mix,
shit.
yeah, it mixed with
why they prescribe you
what
that.
they labeled as autism. They try to say is, and when I tried the lady who ended up diagnosed or telling me she thinks that I had. She was a doctor. She worked with kids with autism, and this was an adult. But she said in the email, she's like, "Yeah, you basically have a high form of autism." So that's what I found out in my 20s. But yeah, but mixed with all that, but like what's going on, what I'm saying is what you are supposed to be, what your brain is supposed to be is a filter. In reality, like people get mad at these things. We can get mad at Facebook and Snapchat and Instagram and Twitter and all those things, but they are set up. They give you the tools so you can filter the shit to what you want. But people are just too lazy that they got to do a little bit. That's just really what it boils down to. It ain't got nothing to do with social media. The underlying factor is people are fucking lazy and they just want to blame shit. That's really what it is. It ain't got fucking shit to do with social media. I'm getting worked up because I really believe that social media is dope. Sure, there's a lot of fucked up shit that goes on it, but there's a lot of fucked up shit that was going on pre. Yeah. So where was social media when we couldn't sit on the front of the bus? What was social media then that was fucking up society then? You see what I'm saying? When women couldn't vote, where was social media? Where was social media fucking up society then? Really corrupting it then? When black people were 3/5 of a human, was social media around doing that shit? Was all the gangster rap music back then? When they were coming over here just fucking murdering Indians and shit? Like with the Spanish.
Right now, I think it's always kind of been the same shit. The thing right now is that it's so fast. Like
with social media, everybody has a voice.
And everybody gets the
you
information.
That's what
maybe having ADHD, what is it? Maybe having that is a good thing because that's the thing that people's attention span is fucking ridiculous. Like somebody can't sit there and listen to, for example, a podcast. Like they're looking at it, they're like 1 hour. Fuck,
man, the three people that are still with us right now.
Shout out to those 3 people that are still with us. Bro, it's not live. I'm just kidding.
Nah,
yeah, they're still with it. They're like watching. It's still the 3 people that continue to this point. Oh, my bad. Big hands. Yeah, and that's why I use my hands.
It's amazing.
That's why I use my hands.
It's amazing and terrible.
Because watch TV, they change the angle. Especially watch MTV. If you watch MTV, they change the angles like every
to keep you engaged.
You're engaged because you're gonna.
That's definitely one of those things. I like it because we have access now. Back in the day, to do some shit like this, you had to be signed to somebody, or you had to have a big investor. Right. Like now, we can just
They gave us the tools. We got the power. We have the tools.
So basically, you can either do good with them, or you can fucking.
And don't think I'm completely bashing social media.
No, I'll just play.
To me, it's a 50-50 because it's like
I respect
the consumer part is like you're consuming a shit ton. Okay, but on the other side, as a creator, because I consider myself a creator,
you want people to consume your content.
That is amazing for me to put my creation out there. To give it to everybody to consume.
And it's positive, so that's good.
It's positive too, so it's like, yeah.
Well, you're just a positive person. That's just who you are. Like that's what you're gonna put that out because that's what you guys are. You guys are positive people. You know what I mean? That's what you. At the end of the day, like you're not putting this out for like with a negative, malicious. We're just talking. We're shooting the shit. So it's like it's good. It's
want to learn from experiences, basically.
Yeah. So but it's also just doing something.
Yeah.
Because the other thing I don't know if you guys have done. I talked about it earlier. Like when everybody gets to that point in life, like why am I doing this? Not this, but like just this. Like this whole what is all this?
This is just fun, bro. Whenever I die or whenever there's a story about me, like or when people remember me, I want it to be like, yeah, that nigga used to just be in his garage podcasting and shit.
Yeah, but that's cool, you writing your own script.
You're
writing. He directed my movie.
He started at a garage and he built his mainstream, big podcast,
cutting hair on the side.
You know what I'm saying?
Right here in this little garage, bro, I live my fucking movie. I've lived it for the past 9 years. Just shooting videos, cutting hair, fucking. That's all I've been doing. Buying cameras.
It's dope, and it's a culmination of that. This is like
I've met so many awesome people. Like it's crazy, bro. What? Yeah, it's you direct your own fucking movie, basically.
You are the director of your own life. That's more that cliche shit. But what you have to figure out early on is who you really are. Like I have characteristics that I could be more than what I am, but I'm not cut out for that. I'm aware of it. It's not, and I'm lazy too. It's not playing the cop out card. I'm lazy. I'm aware of what I am, but I still do shit. You know what I mean? But my point that I'm getting to is I was able to figure out where I can fit in situations. That's the best advice I can give to people is because sometimes you're going to be the director for whatever reason. Like you might be a manager. Like so clearly by position, by title, you're a director. But sometimes you're going to have to be the extra. You're going to have to play somebody supporting cast. Sometimes you're going to be an extra that doesn't say anything. And that's how you have to handle your, based on, cause some people will fit perfect. Like if you had a role where the person didn't have to say anything, but just do. So a person was kind of introverted, but motivated would be perfect for that position. They don't have to say anything to anybody, but just fucking work. But you put someone in there who has like, always got to, say some shit, they'd lose their goddamn mind. They'd be miserable. They wouldn't be able to be happy because they wouldn't be themselves. Mm-hmm. They got to be themselves to be happy.
At what age did you start like kind of doing self-development and like trying to learn yourself?
Late 20s. I mean, I've always been like self-conscious of it myself because we go back to that. I mean, race made me like self-aware early on, but like self-aware was definitely mid-20s. You start questioning things, and post 9/11 made me start being self-aware too, like investigating that shit. Not gonna lie, because at that time when you're in 20s and you start, because the quote that I always remember is like, show me a man who's 20s who's not a liberal and I'll show you a man with no brain. Show me a man who's 30s who's not a conservative. Show me a man who's 30s. Show me a man who's 20s who's not a liberal, and I'll show you a man with no heart, basically. And a man in his 30s who's not a conservative is show you a man with no brain. So the point you're going through is like towards your later 20s, you start to get more on a conservative,
you're more
thinking,
awake.
more awake. Like you start thinking about your future. You start thinking about that. But when you're in your early 20s, you're just living in the moment. You're like, man, just fuck the night, turn up, and then get tomorrow and get up and go do it again because you can just recover fucking like no problem. But you get older, you start going, man, I can't do this. So you start questioning the shit. So people question things on different levels. Some people just question it on a health thing, and they just stay that. And some people question it on a spiritual and on a like, hey, like, what am I doing here level? You know what I mean? Kind of.
Do you have your third eye open?
Man, I could say nowadays, now it's so cliche. But I was saying that before. I was saying I'm woke, third eye, this and that line. But my thing was like, I'm not gonna front. Like I was into conspiracy theory, still am, but not as much because no matter what conspiracy theory you go into now, it doesn't matter. It's always Freemasons. Jesus, Freemasons again. It doesn't matter. So I just kind of gave up on it, but on that. But I still like a good conspiracy, like the Epstein conspiracy. That's a good one. That's if you're into conspiracies, because conspiracies are real. I don't understand like a nutcase right now, but they not all conspiracies are real. Mm-hmm. But like, are you familiar with like the Gulf of Tonkin? Look, you can look that up. Your fans can look that up. Gulf of Tonkin. I think it's I can't spell it. TONKENKIN Tonkin. Just type in Gulf of. Start typing, and Google should do it up, and it's been declassified. And that was a false flag deal that got us into Vietnam. Tuskegee experiments. Not the Tuskegee Airmen, but the Tuskegee experiments. Are you familiar with those? That's another conspiracy because the degree of the conspiracy differs, but from like 1930 something to 1970, they basically lied to black people in Tuskegee, Alabama, saying like, hey, you got syphilis, we're giving you this shit to cure it or whatever, for example, but it wasn't. Man, they were just like letting them to see how it affected them and doing all this shit. Yeah. So that's a conspiracy. So I'm just saying, like, that's why, like, when you grow up listening, learning these things, so you have a little bit of distrust, especially as a black person of color, whatever you want to label it now, because that's a divide on black and POC now. But there's a whether it's right or wrong, there's a certain level of distrust ingrained in you about the government if you're black, especially. So that being in there, not just trusting, always being have an inquisitive mind and trying to question things, that fit into that. Like it consumed that. It satiated that desire to learn things. Mm-hmm. And that's what was fun. It was learning something new, and you just got to have a good mind going, all right, keep a thought like this isn't real. It's not real just because it's on the fucking internet. You're just looking at someone else.
Same with the news.
Not
everything you see there is real.
Assume you gotta be able to look at it and okay. It's just the acronym. They say it's not how it came about, and I thought about it and I saw it on the internet. So basically, what I learned is I don't think anything original, nothing new under the sun. But the acronym for news is North, East, West, South. So news comes in from different direction. So you can, and that's why it's new. So, and it's old there, but it's new to you. So it's just a different way in how you use that news You see what I'm saying? Like, because you might use it to look at someone and go, oh my God, they're doing what over there? Like, you know, or you're like, oh, that's dope. They're doing that over there. See what I'm saying? So it's all in your perspective too. But,
That's true.
And that's how social media is. It's news, but it's this constant, like, you can get it like from all.
It's fun. I think so.
It's crazy, huh? Like, we went from fucking watching the news on the TV broadcast to I was watching the news yesterday on Twitter. That's crazy.
Yes.
I don't even watch the fucking news.
Well, I was watching it because of the Iran thing.
Yeah,
They bombarded the 2 military bases there in Iraq. So I was just like seeing like, damn, this shit. I'm over here thinking like, damn.
I follow all out of it.
I'm about to get drafted. This shit crazy.
You ain't getting drafted, bro. Just do a bunch of drugs.
World War III is about to happen,
Just do a
man.
bunch of
I gotta
drugs.
start acting
Just go
dumb.
in there.
Okay, so
Just draw a bunch of heroin marks.
What? Psychedelics. Have you fucked with psychedelics? Talk about that.
I mean, I like mushrooms. I think they'll be legal soon.
I heard a lot of benefits about mushrooms.
Yeah,
you got
can
information
microdose.
about that?
Yeah, you can microdose. You can use it for like PTSD. You know.
But is this the same mushroom that makes you see things?
Yeah, you just.
So what does it do? What is it?
Okay, like depending on like how much you take will determine what you like you take like half a gram, you probably can get a good body high. A gram, depending on your weight, you know, tolerance, when's the last time you took them, etc. There's different levels to it. But I say like 0.5. I would say I'm not an expert. So I'm not trying to act like I know any. Like I just know from just personal experience. If you do like 0.5, 0.25 to 0.5, you should have a really good body high. But I'm thinking if you even do like 0.2 grams, starting out that like it, you know, and then doing like 0.2 like every couple hours, that should start to give you some kind of.
There's a lot of benefits to it. I think it was like arthritis, like
I know I feel
stress.
I feel great when I'm on. Like my body feels amazing. Like
As far as your mentality though, when you came back from the trip, did it? Does it change you?
Yeah, you should be changed. You don't because you went on a trip. You going like how I'm looking at. I'm just sounding. I'm gonna sound real nutty here, but I'm just a different way of thinking. It's just what I'm saying. Like I'm using a quote to kind of like to put it all together. If you think the same at 40 that you did at 20, you wasted 20 years of your life. Right. So what these little trips are, and if you do it right, especially if you talk to somebody else, talk to yourself, talk to God, talk to whatever, you know, you're gonna if you trip hard enough, you should have went somewhere else. And you should be able to leave certain things behind. Hate. You see what I'm saying? Aggression. Because when you do enough and you do the right amount and you get like, you start feeling like, oh, everything's one, you know, I love you, you can do all that, you know, goofy shit, like hippie shit, but that's what you see. Like you feel the oneness, you see the patterns and things. So my point is, when you come back from that, you should still be there mentally. Like because you're not. Like you can even feel like you went there physically. Like if you take, you know what I mean? Like some people take like, dude, I haven't done DMT yet, but all the people I've talked to that done DMT, they say like they fucking see shit. Like 15 minutes, you gone, bro. Like you out to lunch in a good way. You know what I mean? In a good way. But they say they left. But really, I was like,
so
they stuck in the couch for 15
it kind of helps you deal with past trauma.
Yeah, you can like that but you can have a bad trip. Like now, I've personally never had a bad trip. I mean, that shit works, but I'm doing it anyway. But I've never had a bad trip, thankfully. So, you know, I've always done it in around people that I trusted, you know what I mean? And around environments that I wanted to be in. Most of the time, the first time I ever did was at Wakarusa.
Have you tried them?
No.
Have you?
I heard a lot of good things about it.
I didn't
you
do
think
it
it's gonna
until
be
my
legal?
mid-30s. I didn't do it until my mid-30s.
Mid-30s. See, that's one of those I want to wait for.
But what's crazy is the way I talk and think my whole life, people would always be like, how much acid have you done? How much acid, how much shrooms have you done? And I'd be like, bro, I ain't done any of that shit, right? And then, so when I finally did it, and I mean, I've taken enough to like trip and see some shit. All it did for me is like, I could feel really good, but it didn't change how I thought. Does that make sense?
You're already on that shit.
And I was already on. So I was like, I get it. It's like, so now, because what people who had done acid, they could understand me because the way I like connect things, and you know that's what the autism part comes in. But they were, you know, they would say that shit to me, and I'd be like, I never even done it before. But then after I took it, I was like, oh, I get it now.
And this shit is natural, huh?
The shrooms are. I don't know much how LSD. I'm not I'm not an expert. I know shrooms are natural in the sense like they just grow on their own.
Wow,
they grow on shit and stuff like that.
And they make you see shit.
It's amazing though. The shit you see, like you laugh. Oh, those shits are hilarious. It's just, dude. Every time I've had them lately, I've had good batches. I've fucking be eating on them and shit. I be like,
you get appetite.
Oh yeah, 'cause I smoke some weed too. So I'll be like, fucking yeah, this is awesome.
Damn, you do a combination of both.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, how I figured it out now is like
I'll
there's
freak
different
out,
variations.
probably.
Like I might not eat throughout the day, but I will. But like early in the morning, like I'll even do juicing. Like a couple days up to it, like one day before I might do a juice fast, where I just do the juicing vegetables and fruits and things like that. And then the day before that, or the day after that, which would be the day before I trip, I'll eat like a bunch of pineapples, bananas, apples, a little bit of quinoa, just light foods, but energy packed. And the day of, I mean, bananas all day and like just walnuts or avocados because I want fats and potassium. I just want good shit in my body because I know I'm about to put some. It's not poison, but I'm about to put some shit in my body. It's gonna alter it. So when I come down, I want to have already the nutrients in it because I think what happens a lot of times, motherfuckers do shit, but they're already eating like shit all the time. I'm not trying to be on a preachy like, oh, go plant based and go vegan. I'm plant based. I'm not vegan because I just eat. My diet is just plant based, but I treat it like science, quasi science in my brain. I'm not all the way like that nerded out about it, but I do put some thought into the procedure. I do give it some respect, if you will. I do treat it like it is somewhat spiritual, even though I know I'm just doing some shit that's fucking on my brain for a little bit. That's really, but it makes sense. I know what I'm doing. I'm just taking some mind altering substances, but I do those things. I do those things so that it'll put me in that good state of mind, so that when I take it, it's just going to enhance that. Because I talk to some people, I'm not going to front, ask a girl, triple all the time. I've tripped with a dude before, triple women before, or triple with a man and a woman. Depends. But sometimes you talk, girl, you're asking the girl, why you're asking the girl to trip. But she might be like, oh, I can't trip now because I'm not in a good place. They will say some shit like that. They've done enough because they've had bad trips. So
if you're
I've learned through bad trips through other people's bad trips.
So if you're depressed or some shit, don't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
But I think that's one of the things that kind of cures it, though.
I would. You don't know. You got to go into a setting. You need to be with somebody. I'm saying trip. Like it ain't got to be sexual all the time either. But I'm saying let's trip. Like let's take enough to fucking be like, like that's what I'm talking about. Now if you need it because see, they don't have time to go trip, like because it's not legal yet. It's not. You see what I'm saying? Like they're doing tests on it right now to do it, but you need to go. I think it'd be in a room like this. It'd be some shit just like the way this room is set up right now. Except the person will be laying down, and you'd be talking to them, especially if they've never done it before. And you got to think. I'm talking about doing this for like everybody, not just motherfuckers who have like,
that shit crazy.
But I'm talking about like have pop culture references. I'm not talking about that and just a regular person that we think regular that you can just talk. I'm talking about square ass motherfuckers. Square ass, I don't care if you're Asian, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. Square motherfuckers who don't party, don't do drugs, don't have you know what I mean? But maybe could benefit from and need it. That's what I'm talking about. You got to be all the way like this. They lay down, you talk to them for a little bit. Why do you think you need it, or why did the doctor say you need it, or whatever it's getting to that point. Talk them through it, give them the dosage, explain, hey, this is what you see, and then these are things you might feel, blah blah blah. Let me know when you start feeling any of these things, or if you feel anything different. You see what I'm saying? It needs to be walked through if you're going to go on that level to fight depression. That's personally. Now, if you're just a regular person and you've already figured out what your depression, then just go fucking at it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I make the joke, waiting for my depression to return gives me anxiety. Like, that's my joke. Like, because I'm waiting and anticipating the future. Like, when is my depression going to return? So like, now I'm anxious. You see what I'm saying? So
That's crazy.
right? Like I know I'm gonna
That
be
is
depressed
crazy.
again. I know I'm gonna be depressed again. Like I just who I am. Like I go through the bouts of depression. Like it's just what it is. But it's not like depression where I'm just like, oh, woe is me. But it's more depression of like, man, why is this world like this? But then it's like, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get up, and I'm able to motivate myself. It doesn't last very long.
So you get like those kind of.
Just like anybody, it's human shit.
Yeah,
You wake up like, man, fuck today.
Yeah.
I hope they don't call me.
I kind of had that this morning, I guess. Kind of.
We all go through it.
Yeah, where I was like, I didn't even fucking go to the gym. I was like, fuck this shit. I was just like,
But
fuck it.
what happens is when that day you don't go, I need to go to the gym or I need to do some
which is
graphics or-
weird because actually, like,
No,
it's a
you
good
do that.
escape.
No. You do that because we do that. Well, we all do that. Like today, I don't want to do these graphics. I don't want to do this podcast, or I don't want to cut this hair. I don't want to go to school. I don't want, and that's fine. We all get days where we can get 1 or 2 days in a row. Just we can feel pity party and feel bad for ourselves. But when day 3 hits and day 4 hits and day 5 hits, that's when there's a problem, and
You
that's
can't
when you
get
need to
time
ask
back.
for help. Like you need to be okay with asking for help. Like I'm not saying you got to go to a therapist, but reach out to people that you can talk to that are okay with it, that you can already have set up. And don't go talk to somebody who don't give a shit. Because you're gonna waste your time, you're gonna waste your energy. Because they might not have to like give you the answers, but to someone
Venting.
that cares, man, that does so much. Because they might not have the answers for you, but just knowing that they care will be enough. It should be enough. I think it should be enough.
I think a lot of times when we talk about things, you're able to hear it, so you can,
work it out,
put it
yeah.
together. Like put it together. If you just bottle it all in, you're just going crazy and getting anxious and shit.
Yeah,
so.
sometimes it's good to vent and shit. Like, just let it all out.
Even like with
you
writing, it's fucking corny and shit. But if you write down your thoughts and look back at them a couple fucking months or weeks later, it's fucking crazy. You sit there and you're like, dang, this is how I was feeling. Like this is shit's crazy, B.
I do that through memes.
Or go to your
Every timeline,
go
like,
to your
oh.
Facebook and see what you posted fucking 4 years ago. If you,
I mean, it's don't you like that? They gives you
Cringy ass
memories
shit.
now.
The memories
Cringy
pop
shit.
up. You're like, you have a memory with such and such. You're like, man, fuck that motherfucker. Or the best part is you get a memory and then you see other people like you can't see that it's like aired out. Like, oh, this person blocked me.
Golly.
Okay, so psychedelics, fucking. What else is there for J. Paulo, man? What are you going? What's up,
Man, honestly, right now I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm doing. Like I'm just gonna keep doing graphics. I still work at the La Braza. Work there on the weekends. The restaurant in the city. It's a fucking really good restaurant. Peruvian with like Asian influence. It's like a fusion type joint. Yeah. I do graphics for them, and I work in the kitchen on, like I said, Friday, Saturdays, Expo. Just
So out of like the businesses that have came up within like the past 5 years,
Oh,
who
sorry,
have you
first,
worked
If you
for?
do graphics, if you're asking about that, man, you know how I work, bro.
Bro, I
Well, just in
ride with the
general,
currency.
yeah.
I ride with the currency.
Because I can basically my little go-to jokes and shit that I do a lot of times. Like as long as you can currently see, that's your currency. Like whatever you currently see. So I pay attention to where the flow goes, the money, the currency. You see what I mean?
you
Like
adapt
the flow,
to it.
yeah, and I adapt. So right now everybody's doing brands. Everybody's doing T-shirts. You know what I mean? Like that's what everybody's doing. So I work with this company right here, Season. So that's
We're gonna have to blur that out. I'm just like,
yeah.
Shit,
Your
man.
son has a.
Yeah, my son's doing a clothing line, infatuatedclothing.com. So he's got that going.
Nice.
He's figured it out at 17. He figured out how to do it.
if he already has that mentality, that's a good step.
Yeah, and he's doing videos already. He's like big into gaming and that shit. So he's doing that. So I encourage him, to do that.
What's your take on that?
Oh, I'm
as a
all
parent?
for it. All for it because it's what he wants to do.
So if your son says he's not gonna fuck with college and shit, he wants to be a
if you
full
want to keep
gamer.
1,000, he's already. I'm putting his on blast or not. I'm gonna support him, but he decided not to go back for his senior year of high school, and I was like, that's the best thing I've ever heard because you don't want to be there. Like and I don't have to go through the whole he knows, and I didn't have to go being that dad, giving those speeches when clearly he don't. He's not that he's too smart, but like the shit they were teaching him, he's going to a public school in Oklahoma City. They're not the best fucking learning. He's gonna learn shit, but he's just gonna learn how humans, which he already figured that out quick. So he already working at Target, and he started a clothing line. So I mean, he's doing his thing.
Did
He's
you ever
making
imagine in this era there where gamers get paid more than doctors?
Yeah, because that's another thing. Like he doesn't game like that, but his thing is like he just likes to review things. He's like a tech guy. he likes to just talk about things. So this is perfect. Like he works at he got a job on like as a seasonal. Sorry, I couldn't think of seasonal working. It was seasonal at Target, and they loved him because excuse me, he knows his shit for his age. You know what I mean? Of course, he's got lots of stuff to learn, but he knew what he was doing. So he was just telling me how quick people were dropping off, and basically I was just like, he was seeing in a weird way school, but like it happens in school, but people drop off, but they stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Yeah. They finish the year because you have to. Like, you got to send your kid to school. If they fail, they just go through again. But in life, you don't just stay there just because you know what I mean? They don't cut it. They cut you. Like,
so you basically let him make his decisions, and those are his decisions.
Already, I mean, he's about to be 18 soon anyway. Like, he's going to be his own. Give him independence. He's already, he's doing it now. So, I mean, I support him for that.
Your relationship is pretty solid with him.
Yeah, like I have a shirt. I post it online. I share stuff. So I think because at the end, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but he's only 17. He's only 17. Remember, I just said earlier, you think the same at 40 that you did at 20. You don't waste 20 years of your life. He may in 3 years all of a sudden go, you know what? I want to, get his GED. Then he's like 3 years later, I want to go to college. I want to go do this. I want, I don't know. But if this is what he is wanting to do, I feel like I need to support him, because why would I force him to do something that he doesn't want to do? Mm-hmm. That's the worst. And I
it's like the parents that force their kids to go to college.
And I know the other side of that. And it worked. People are saying, "Hey, my parents made me do this, and it worked out for me." And I'm not saying they're mutually exclusive. Like doing one is going to equal this, and that's not what I'm saying. I just believe for him and just the way he is, knowing my son, he is half of me. I need to support that because it worked out for me.
And his mom was cool with it.
Yeah, his mom's cool with it. His mom makes sure he got a job though. She was like, you're gonna have a job. So, he lives there, and he's learning, about. Pretty soon he's gonna have a car. He turns 18, he'll have a car. So because he's not all the way there yet. He's not. He's just, dude. He's just barely in the game, bro. Let's just be real. He's still.
But he's in the right path. He has the right mentality.
Yes, but he's aware. But he knows. But he knows what's coming. Like I talked to him, because his thing is he wants a Tesla. That's his, one of his things. He wants that. So I just, make sure you get the money, insurance, be able to fix it. That's all. Just
what Tesla? Model 3?
I have no
Model
idea.
S,
I don't know. I don't know if he's like into fast like that. I don't know.
Teslas are revolutionary. Like they're just the future.
Yeah, because he's into that tech shit. So that's perfect for him. Like he loves.
I want a Tesla too. Shit, those cars are amazing.
Yeah, the ones they're all electric.
Electric,
right? Yeah,
and they can go from 0 to 60 in like no time. Like really dope shit. Yeah,
that's incredible. Didn't they come out with the ugly truck? But it's dope. It's ugly but dope.
Yeah, they did a prototype of it, which is
But a whole bunch of people
Tesla
signed up to buy it, right? I heard that's what I heard. Like a whole.
Well, the CEO of Tesla is he's amazing. That guy has a brain.
Elon Musk.
Yeah,
some people think he's an alien.
I think he's just I think he's just ahead of.
Or he could be autistic.
You say what?
He could be autistic.
Maybe he didn't know how to hit the blunt though. Could be
social awkward interactions.
Yeah. But
no, he's just on a different wavelength.
I think he's ahead of time.
He's from South Africa, isn't he? Is he South African?
I think. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Jamie, look it up.
Oh God, where's
Jaime? Y'all have a Jaime. Jaime, look it up.
That's real,
what y'all need. Y'all need to get a Jaime, and every time you're like, Jaime, look it up, he's gonna be like, my name is Steve.
For real. All right, so we've been in this thing for an hour 18 minutes, which is a record.
Oh, y'all don't do long podcasts? Oh, normally I'm on a podcast.
Well, our average is about hour and 2 minutes.
Oh, my bad.
20 minutes. Hour and 20. It doesn't matter, to be honest. If there's shit to talk about, there's shit to talk about. We don't put ourselves in a time.
Wrap it up,
but I'm letting everybody know what's the time. That's like what after the hour, I let everybody know.
I see how you do. My bad. I didn't know if there's you're trying to all right, wrap that shit up.
I'll tell you if we're gonna wrap it up. But I'm just letting you know. I'm like, okay, we're at an hour and 18 minutes, which is our longest podcast right now. You broke that record. If there's anything you want to add, we can add it, and we can just keep going from there. That's
Oh, I mean, I'm
So,
enjoying the conversation.
so independence. This is what I see from this whole podcast is that you're pretty fucking. You don't like people telling you what to do.
Of course not. No.
I don't, but I know that I need to be told what to do to a certain extent. I'm aware of that. You just have to, especially part of the system. Like you go back into that, like I'm aware enough of myself. Like, yeah, I can talk all the shit I want online because I'm in America. Like, first off, like I get that right. You know, I have that. I can say what I want. So that's that. But then my independence. But my independence is also dependent on other people, whether I believe them to be bullshit or not. Like these wars we're going into or not going into, all these different things. Like that is, you know, in that. So I'm respectful. At the end of the day, I might talk shit about it or say something, but at the end of the day, like I'm aware that people are gonna like die for that. I know it kind of went off a little like serious for a minute, but bringing it back, like I'm aware of that. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm aware of my independence and why it's allotted to me. Because if I was living in this USSR or you live in, you know, Russia or some shit or another country where they frown upon that, I know I probably would be a different version of myself. So I am thankful for that, you know, but
It's almost like that thing going back, like you're somebody that hates their job. Like I hate it here, but you being in the now kind of allows you to just
be happy here.
like because it's insane because you can't
because you're there. There's nothing you can do.
Do
Either
about
you
it.
quit or you fucking
right. And I don't
deal
want
with
to
it.
quit because at the end of the day, like I don't want to be truly free because freedom is an illusion to begin with. I'm aware of that. That might be one of the more crazy batshit things I say on this podcast, but freedom is an illusion. Because if dudes bust through this door, that's why we have to have locks on it to create that illusion of freedom. That little lock is going to stop somebody from busting in. But if they bust in with guns right now, sir, I'm a sentient being with inalienable rights. I don't think he has the freedom. That's true freedom. If he wanted
Well,
to
the
rob
gun
me,
gave him that freedom then.
huh?
The gun gave him that freedom.
Whatever, his mind gave him that freedom. Then I'm gonna take a gun. He could bust in and just beat my ass. I'm not really that much of a fighter. Look, I'm not that big. I mean, he might take some on the way, but I'm probably getting knocked out. But he's gonna take a few. You know what I'm saying? Just being honest. So that's what true freedom is like. Me going out in the woods and the bear jumps in front of me, and I'm like, "Hey, bear, like, back the fuck up."
Share
First
some
off,
space.
safe space. You know what I mean? Like, no, that bear's gonna fuck me up. That's true freedom. Like, that's what. Like, no, thank you. I like the illusion of freedom. I like this bullshit manufactured manipulation that we have because there's an
illusion of safety
to a degree, but even that is not even true.
I don't
Guess
think,
what?
I see this shit different. I think every day is a survival. The fact that you get to go to sleep at night and wake up in the morning and you're like, you survived another day.
That's
the way I
wonderful
see it.
because back in the day when we were doing it, when nightfall hit, shit was bad. You went inside. We didn't go party. Like I'm talking old school shit. Like, you know, I'm talking, you know, we were running from the shit. We were prey, you know, at one point. And then
now we come out at night. We run shit like now. Nighttime is we come out. That's when we wild out the most because we dominated. We created a world where we can do that.
Yeah, we definitely dominated. Because we, as human beings, we take over everything, bro. To think about, like, we started off as just plant-based. But this stuff I'm talking about years back.
Sure.
You know, and then we discovered, like, that cow looks good. Let me see, like, let me kill it, try it. Oh, shit. Damn, this sheep over here looks good. Oh, damn, this shark in the water looks good. You know, like, we fucking eat everything. This is totally different, but I'm just thinking, like, and then, like, not only that we eat everything, but we see a fucking furry animal. Oh, this shit is a nice coat. But we fucking dominated. Like,
But some of it's
power.
out of
People get
necessity.
mad at Donald Trump, nigga. We all do that shit.
But it's out of necessity, like just talking about eating, but like let me just segue into something real quick, just some shit I come across on the internet. People talk about like diet in like peasant times, as what I was watching, and people talk about the diet of peasants. When you always think of, because of the movies and shit, they think of like slop. You know what I mean? Like gruel. You know what I'm talking about, right? When they think of like the 1500s and shit in medieval times, poor people were eating bullshit. That's what they portray. Well, anyway, there was abundance of supposedly salmon running through like this at that time. Salmon. So the poor people were just going and fishing out salmon and eating salmon. And then they were eating artisan bread, which is the bread that's really expensive today, like the brown bread and wheat bread and all that shit. They were eating that because to get white bread, which is now cheap now, it was harder to do it back then because you had to like do all this. You know, I'm not a fucking bacon. You sometimes there's a process to make it white, so it costs more money, more labor intensive, right? So the rich people were eating chicken and white bread, and the poor people were eating salmon and artisan bread. Fast forward to today.
Now that's the fancy bougie shit.
It's flipped around. It's flipped. So yeah, survival. We've always tried to survive off of things, you know, and that's goes from your environment, like what is around you. You just base it off. That's how you move. And I think like speaking of this, we can segue, you know, talk about other shit, but like that's why you're getting this big push now, like this eco people trying to push like plant based on people. I'm not trying to do that on people. Like, you just eat what you want. I think people should eat more plants just for your health. You know what I mean? But that's why they're doing that now, like with bio. You've heard it. I'm sure you've heard it.
Right. And I've reduced the meat too because the meat in a way has a lot of. It's good as fuck.
It's delicious.
Delicious, but it has its consequences. That's for sure. It does have its consequences. Like on the long term, you might be like, now I'm young and shit, but certain meats, red meats and shit.
Though, but there's everybody because everybody puts out a report, and you got to go. Who put the report out? Who paid for the report? Who are they working for? Where you see what I'm saying? It's not on some that conspiracy shit, but you got to do a little research. You got to dig because if you just take the headline and go, oh, can't eat beans now because of this. 2 weeks later, oh, eat all these beans because it's got this. Like, what the fuck? You see what I'm saying?
You don't even know what to fucking think at that point. You know, like what?
That's why I don't look at news and a lot of shit like that because it sidetracks me from doing what the fuck I gotta do.
Right, but it's a double-edged sword because, like I was saying, because the same shit that would distract you, but can also be to motivate you. Because what if they're like, hey, here's a new camera, it's news, or here's a new thing that some guy figured out. You
so balance, back to
right,
balance.
It's back to balance and back to how you allow it to affect you.
Yeah, what is it? Extremist? Yeah. So when you just totally go to one side.
Yes.
You gotta,
like don't place all your eggs in one basket.
Or like when somebody says something, not necessarily like you don't necessarily just like believe just that. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta kind of
do some research on it.
Yeah, even
yes.
Question.
There's a bunch of those post articles. If it says some weird 3-letter, 4 or 5 letters .com fucking br seems whatever, I know it's a bullshit fucking article off top. You see it enough of them. But like today, somebody posted on their page. And I don't know if he was just being funny, but like, because he made it seem like the way his caption was, which was funny, but it said the article that he shared talked about they're banning menthol cigarettes. And
it was an article.
It was a legit article. The article was legit, but he posts it right, and his caption basically says, I can't remember what he said, but it was funny as shit because he was saying you might as well ban. Like shit that black people like. Basically, that's what he was going towards, right? Because menthols are being banned. But all you got to do is click the article, open up first 3 paragraphs. You can see like they spell favorite with a U. It says EU, and then it says UK shops. So within like 10 seconds of just scanning the first 3 little paragraphs.
You already know it's bullshit.
No, it's not bullshit. It's just not taking place in America. It's taking place in the UK.
And
EU spelled favorite with the U. First off, I saw favorite with the U. That lets me know that it's fucking British British English. So this is either UK, Australia. You see what I'm saying?
And the guy thought it was
America because he said it and he saw it because
he didn't click on the art. He just read the title.
Shared it, but it goes. But he saw a stat going. And it's not blaming them, but what just happened on the 1st of January? They did, you got to be 21 to buy cigarettes now, and that's legit. So, you see what I'm saying? You got one thing in your brain floating around that's real, and I'm not saying that's what happened.
What the hell's up with that?
Alcohol's 21, cigarettes are 21. But you can still, I'm going to do the cliche thing, but you can still go die at 18.
Okay.
So that's a whole nother podcast in itself of that kind of shit. You can go into it because just real quick, I'll say. I think weird shit, not the way I say it, but like America has done a depending on how you want to look at it, a fucked up thing or a wonderful thing or just a manipulative thing. They've convinced the women of this country, not all of them, I'll just say it, predominantly Caucasian women. There are black women that fall under this lack of better term magic spell. Because they've convinced these women because this is what I believe. Men are aggressive, and they are aggressive, and they're soft men. There's aggressive women. I get all that. But innately women, especially once they become a mother, is about caring, preservation. You see what I'm saying? Like that's their focus more. And sometimes families break up because of the family. She's thinking, too much. You're not part of the family unit. I need something. Whatever. So that's what I think. But now it's in America, especially, it's an honor for women to send their children off to war because they're adults, mainly they're 18, but they say, "Oh, my baby," when they die, right? Because they can send them over 18, 19, 20 because they're dumb. They're young, dumb, and full of cum. They're not fucking, they're not looking at the world long term. They're just like really in the now. And then especially they grow up playing Call of Duty and all of that shit. And if they're really a patriot and, believe in that shit, like,
I'm
all
for my
that,
country.
Yeah, that. And they're going to go die. And they die. That's a sacrifice. Because they say it. They made a sacrifice for you. That's child sacrifice, man. Like, you... And then if you want to be extra goofy with it, what in the army, what do they join? They join the infantry. So just saying, I'm just saying I had nothing to do with it. It's just wordplay.
Bro, they're gonna
just saying
they're
the
gonna
infantry.
take us out there like Alex Jones. Stop it.
I'm just saying. But hey,
For real.
there's some truth to that. Like, I'm just saying, it's just the words line up. They sound funny, but think about it. It's just like a tree of infants because they died. Just go pluck another one off.
And we possibly might be leading into another World War III.
Man,
What you think?
according to how it's played out real quick, it was.
I mean, I don't think.
I heard we got the big guns.
I don't know how accurate it is. Of course, that's why we're not going to do it. This is how it went down. And I'm giving you the news. This is going to be news from the memes. So we're going to see how accurate the news from the memes really are. Because I'm just going to give you what I've interpreted from the memes. Make sense? Like this,
But
I don't know.
Would you take a meme serious though?
I don't know, but I'm just going to tell you. And then people watching this, if they've watched it this long, we've already gotten to 182 this or this long, or you cut this up and do segments, they can go research to see what if I said is accurate. I'm not saying what I'm saying is accurate. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm just saying I'm giving you my interpretation of the shit that's going down based off of memes.
What you've seen.
What I've seen. And I'm being serious about it. I'm not being goofy. I'm just, some of them memes were funny, but I'm going to make an attempt to be serious. Seriously. America attacks, kills the general. Now, I don't know enough memes were made to say like why we could. I've seen people saying he's a bad dude and he deserved, whatever. And that's relative. But if you're desperately American, he's the bad guy. He needed to die for, whatever, right? And then Iranians don't hate Americans, but they don't like Trump. That's the message I'm getting from that.
I saw that.
I'm getting that vibe. But then also I've noticed that when we attacked something in Iraq, right? But then when they shot their missiles, they shot them over there too to attack, but they didn't miss. They missed. So basically, the memes I've seen is we attack Iraq to attack Iran, and Iran attacks Iraq to attack
like
America.
A triangle.
Right, but it's like this, and then and the memes are like, and Iraq is both. All the memes are basically any person doing some shit like this, like that's Iraq, because it says U.S. attacks Iraq to attack Iran. Iran attacks Iraq to attack the U.S. So Iraq ain't even in the shit, but they getting attacked because that's
they getting all the smoke.
Yeah, so they're like, the fuck, like really? So that's the memes I'm getting said. So that's how it is, and then. Really, the news, and I also saw a little bit of news, and Trump was saying that they ain't gonna buck up. They kind of died down. Their stances died down since they retaliated, since they went ahead and shot them little missiles. And also another thing, and I don't know how accurate this is, but supposedly the money that they got from the money they used to get those missiles or whatever was money they got from the Obama administration.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
I saw that too. So I don't know how accurate that is. But then the flip side is to play devil's advocate, not even playing devil's advocate. It might not even line up, but just to talk shit to if they're extra conservative, you just throw that meme up that says, back in my day, we used to sell weapons to Iran. And it's Reagan, who was a Republican, and they all revere and shit. So he, Iran Contra shit. So, you can
I don't think. Yeah, hopefully there's not a war and they can.
Well, it depends on who you are.
Down.
If you're fucking Raytheon, whatever that company's called, or fucking Halliburton, or whoever these companies are, they're like, yeah, fucking another war. Oil companies, another war. Make their money and make their profits, man. Capitalism. Capitalize on other shit. Like, That's the world we live in. That's the world we live in. Like when I say not, us, just all of us, like everybody, all the continents, we all live in this motto that whether we're aware of it or not, it's like cast over us, if you will. It's I can't say it in Latin. It's like ordo abko or some shit like that, like whatever. But basically, what it translates into is order out of chaos. And that's the world we live in. We live in a chaotic world. People are aware of that chaos. Some people believe that the people in control sometimes create the chaos. You know, there's theories on that. Like you create a chaos, but you have all the solutions lined up, and then you present the solutions based on the reactions of the people. So, I mean, there's a lot of shit. You keep them ahead. You keep one step ahead because you're controlling the game. Like if that's real shit. Like if there really is a game being played on us, you know, I would think it would tie in. You could see it in that. What about you? Like, what do you guys think about, like, because you guys are younger than me. Like, what do you think about the system that is? How do you guys see it right now? What do you think?
The system?
Yeah, the system.
It's fucked up.
Okay.
It's not the health insurance, college.
To be honest, I feel like I just just do what I want when I'm here. That way, if I die, it sounds corny as shit, but if I die tomorrow, at least I did what I wanted to do. So I think that's important, just doing what you want to do, you know, because it is fucked up. So like,
It's an outlet for you.
like if we do go to war and then we fucking get blown up tomorrow, at least I was in here shooting a podcast, doing some shit I wanted to do, smoke some good ass weed, you know.
Shit.
I don't think they're gonna if we're going to war. And if we do go to war, I like when people say, "Are we gonna go?" No, we are not going to go to war. They and them are gonna go to war, and by they I mean like our troops and them. Like we ain't gonna go do shit.
That's what me and my mom were trying to figure out earlier. I was like, so what? Like, are they trying to kill us all, or what's the point of this war? Like,
No, nothing.
It's just an endless conflict.
Like,
That's what it
yes,
is.
it's just
and then
the
the
control.
troops, unfortunately, have to pay the price because they got to go to fucking war.
You said what?
I'm just saying, like, it's an endless disagreement with these leaders, which is the president and then the guy over there.
I've even asked my homies that are in the military, like, why are we fighting? And a lot of them are like, I don't know, bro.
Of course they don't know.
Because it's need to know basis, and they don't need to know. They just need to know that if we tell you to go fight, that you just need to go fight. You don't need to know why. That's
they're
what I'm
literally
saying. Like,
fighting
that's-
for a white man's conflict.
But or it's not even such. We don't see the thing about it is like we say white man, which it probably is, but there's gotta be people. I hate to say it, like that are black, that are or Hispanic or Asian. They're on that board. They're playing the game too. Clearly, you can see it. If you trace the money, man, just trace the paper trail. It's not hard. You can do it throughout time. You can see who was backing wars, who was supplying on this and that, who had what invested, because at the end of the day, they don't give a shit. They're not tied to any country. They're not tied to any way. They just whatever the fuck they want. And it's
2.5 trillion, right? And then
it's a small little percentage own so much money, and then the rest of us got like
no, he spent on the military shit.
Oh, you're talking about that. So I thought you were gonna go off on the.
He said we're simply the biggest and the baddest.
Yeah. So like, if y'all trying to do some dumb shit, just know I spent 2.5
I'm not saying
trillion.
this is how it works.
Not billion, trillion.
Okay,
With
like
a T, capitalized.
Here's a way to keep doing that though. You use the boogeyman, and as long as people are gonna be scared of the boogeyman, he can do as much as he wants. When I say he, I don't mean just Trump. They, and I don't mean they like a transgender identifier. I just mean they as in multiple people.
Or some shit.
No, multiple. I'm making a joke about he, she, theys, and theybies and all that. It's a weak joke, but I mean they as in like, the people in control. I forgot where I was going, but they don't care. Like
that's why it's good that you go to the sauna and you
I'm saying, but they don't care like we think they
fuck all
care.
that shit.
I'm saying that was I was trying to get to my point. I lost it. I'm not gonna lie. I smoked a little earlier, but they don't care. They don't care like we think they care. Does that make sense? Like they just know we're interchangeable. They can just swap us out. It doesn't matter.
So not me. I'm AV. They're gonna swap me out.
They got.
I like that.
I hate to say it, there's a fucking thousand J Paulos lined up. There's 1,000 AVs. There's 1,000 Darwin. I mean, that's because
They
You want to play some Juice World? Goddamn.
No, what I'm saying is they don't care. They don't
He's over
care.
here.
They don't
Shit.
care in the sense like what I mean is like as long as you're not disrupting their flow, they don't care. Like we can say whatever you want. I mean, Illuminati is like in pop culture now. Like before you talk to motherfuckers about the Illuminati, you know, they'd be like, "What? That's whatever shit." You know, motherfuckers. I don't know if you remember back in the day when motherfuckers were taking the $20 bills and the $5 bills and they were folding them up to make it look like the Twin Towers and shit was.
Yeah, I seen that.
All that. So it's not like that. Basically, what they want is just control. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to get to. That's all they want to do is maintain control. I know I got off on a tangent. I'm fucking blabbing, but back to that. Who's ever in control? Who's ever in this? Like, you have shit. You want to keep it. You're going to do what it takes to keep it. And that's because that's kind of how they are. But we don't know a whole lot. So since it's everybody speculating, they tie it into their occultists and their Satanists and their, you know, all this other shit because clearly, and they might be, but we don't have any actual proof of this shit. We're just going off just people YouTube videos and people, you know, speculating shit.
And all these
Yeah,
articles.
that's why it's kind of like sports and shit like that. So I mean, I'll talk about it, but to me, it's like I feel like I have no control over it. So
I just enjoy.
I'll watch it. You know what I'm saying? If I go to Hooters or something and I'm watching, feeling the vibes and shit, but
I think that's the fun part of it.
I
It's
can't
like
get
not knowing what's
invested.
gonna happen. But
the thing is, to me, it's like I think like, what if this shit's rigged or you know?
But that's
like,
another thing. That's why gambling started.
But that's what it's a money generator. It's part of the thing, part of the system. But you figure out like I know I'm part. Like that's why I stopped. Like I make jokes about it like online, but like I know I make posts about it. Like I'm part of the problem. I'm part of like the issues that you have with social media. We talked about in the very beginning to bring that back is like women, you know, self-conscious, men self-conscious. I fix those things online, but I'm part of that creating those standards of beauty that people are attaining to. Like I'm aware of that. You know what I mean? So once you're aware of that, you're like, okay, how can I make this work the best for me and then still help people? And all I do is just be honest. By just be making those little posts online about those goofy posts, like, yeah, I know, like when people go, what do you do for a living? I design stuff that people throw away. Like that's one of my go-to jokes because I design flyers. What do people do with flyers? Like my biggest year, part of the year is South by Southwest. I'm getting a shit ton of things thrown away then. Nigga, my work is all over the streets of Austin, bro.
Yeah, we're looking to go over there.
Oh, you're going to see my work on there. Some CDs probably, some business cards, shirts.
All kinds of shit.
Yeah, you might see some people wearing it, but what I mean is like, have you seen the you know, they just throw shit. Like that, like it's basically that joke is like a reworking of Mitch Hedberg's joke. He's like when someone hands him a flyer, he said when they hand him the flyer, they're telling him, "Here, you throw this away." So that's his joke, and it's fucking hilarious. So I was like, "Oh shit, that's what the fuck I do." Like I laughed at that joke a little too hard.
Is it ironic or is it? Nah, it's not ironic.
It's just fucking hilarious.
It's just fucking true as shit. I was just like, God damn. Because you laugh, I was being for real. I laughed so hard that I hurt my feelings.
That's crazy.
Being real. Because that's a fucked up, because out of humor, you know, tragedy, humor, like that comedy struck because it was so real, like for a moment. It just checked me like, it really ain't doing anything great. But now I can flip that and be like, I can be proud to make flyers again because people aren't going to be like this. They're not going to pick up their phone and be like, and throw their phone. So they're going to look at my flyer. What's the worst that can happen? They're just going to swipe away from my fucking shit. So they're not tossing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Makes
So
sense. Yeah.
that's cool. People can at least see it.
For sure, man. Well, shit, I think we touched on a lot of shit, man.
Yeah, we about to hit
Graphic design, everything.
hour and 30 minutes, and it's been a good ass podcast. A lot of information, but my battery's about to die. My bladder's about to blow up, so we're gonna
That's a good one.
wrap this shit up.
Biggest take I would say I took from this is independence and self-awareness.
Real shit.
Yeah, knowledge itself.
I
Yeah.
appreciate all the conversations, man, because
Oh yeah, it's been good. It's been good. That's why
before
I
the
had to bring
podcast,
in
you
the
know, we've had
podcast.
fucking endless conversations when we're designing shit.
It's
and
just
all that.
different. Yes, it's just different perspectives, different opinions.
Before I
and
go,
shit.
just remember what Rakim said: know the ledge, because that's all that knowledge is. Just know where the ledges are, and you won't fall off.
Yeah, that's what it pretty much is.
That's it.
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up.
Deuces.
Episode 6 is in the books. Stay on the lookout for that. AV behind the camera, big shout out to him. You know what I'm saying, doing his thing. And we are out, man. Peace.